This is the latest news coming in. At least a dozen people have been injured in an explosion at an Indian restaurant in Toronto. These are first images tweeted by a local journalist from the Toronto suburb. Mississauga is the name of the suburb. The blast at the restaurant called Bombay Bhel and took place just after 10:30 p.m. local time. The police have tweeted to say several have been injured, 3 have critical injuries. In fact, police have also tweeted this photo of 2 suspects who they say had detonated an improvised explosive device inside the restaurant. The photo shows 2 people with dark zip-up hoodies walking into the restaurant, with one of them appearing to be carrying something. And for more details on this news story, I'm joined in by our international correspondent Siddhant Sibbal on the phone line. Let's quickly go across to Siddhant. Siddhant.
The type of injuries?
They would be consistent with an explosion. I don't have the specifics on the exact injuries that were sustained by the patients, but 3 of them were critical enough to require a trauma center.
All right, that was a reaction coming in from the local authorities in Mississauga. Let's quickly go back to Siddhant. Siddhant, what is the latest that you're getting in on this news story?
Well, the details are still very sketchy. We know that 15 people have been injured in this explosion which took place at an Indian restaurant, Bombay Bhel in Ontario, and of course we are in touch with the High Commissioner there, Vikas Swarup, and the Consulate General in Toronto, Mr. Dinesh Bhatia, and Dinesh has reacted saying that they're still trying to get the details. Remember, it's just like 2 a.m. in the morning there in Canada, and we'll get to know the details mainly after a few hours, mainly after when the morning breaks there. But the details right now is that the explosion took place, and the Peel region police, that's the police, local police there, have also put out the pictures which we have flashed and gave the description of the people there, first being described as a male, stocky build, mid-20s, and given the description, and another person also description being given. But of course, it's right now too early to really point fingers at who might be responsible behind this incident. But first such incidents being reported there in Canada, the Indian restaurant being targeted by this explosion. As of now, nobody has been really badly injured, but 15 people have been injured and they are right now in the hospital. We'll get to know the final details only when the morning breaks there in Canada. But as of now, the situation is being closely watched by the Indian High Commissioner there, the Consulate General, and of course the ME officials here in New Delhi.
Siddhant, from our reports, 10 people have been killed and 15 have been injured, and the police so far have rounded up 2 suspects. Is that true?
Well, police has given out the description of 2 suspects. As of now, there have been no reports of...
Went down to a trauma center in Toronto.
The type of injuries?
They would be consistent with an explosion. I don't have the specifics on the exact injuries that were sustained by the patients, but 3 of them were critical enough to require a trauma center.
Siddhant, so we just heard a reaction coming in from the local authorities in the Toronto suburb. They are saying that a blast was heard, and yes, they have also confirmed the number of casualties. 10 people have died while 15 have been injured. So as we were saying, that they have released a photograph with 2 suspects, which, actually the police is yet to identify these 2 suspects.
Yes, the Peel Regional Police said that 2 suspects were at the scene and detonated an improvised explosive device within the restaurant, injuring several. And of course, they have been taken. The injured have been taken to Toronto Trauma Center. They have given the description of the 2 people who were seen from those pictures. One described as a male, mid-20s, with what he was wearing, and another person also described, and the police has come out with the numbers also. If someone has any inputs, the person can come out or give the details to the police there. But the Toronto, our Consul General there in Toronto, has also tweeted about the incident and said that the Consul General of India in Toronto has opened a helpline in view of the explosion at the Indian restaurant, given a number also for assistance. If somebody needs assistance, the person can approach. But this is the first time any Indian restaurant or any Indian establishment has been targeted there in Canada in such a major manner. So this is the developing story, and we can, of course, we'll get more information as and when we get from the High Commission there, and of course the Consul General Dinesh Bhatia.
Right, Siddhant, this is a developing story, as you aptly pointed out, and this is the first time that an Indian restaurant has been attacked. Also, Siddhant, we cannot completely rule out that, racism is not a reality in Canada, and that systemic racism has become a challenge in Canada as well. So, at the risk of speculating, do you think that this could also, direct the authorities towards a case of racism?
Well, it's too early to actually point fingers at, but there are two dangers, of course, present there. One, of course, racism, as you have pointed on. One is, of course, the Khalistani issue that has been a thorn in the relationship between India and Canada. India recently came out with a statement saying that in the garb of freedom of speech and expression, terrorists have been denoted as martyrs there. We know about that problem also, but this, of course, focusing right now, it seems from the initial indication, at least the tweets by the Peel Regional Police indicates of a person of a different origin. So clearly that is the angle that, of course, the local regional police will be looking at. But as of now, no one has been mentioned who might be responsible behind this incident, which took place just few hours ago in Canada. It took place at 10:30 p.m. local time, so it was just 2 hours. So clearly a developing story, and of course the government and the police, of course, coming out with numbers. If someone has any information or someone needs assistance, can be contact to the police from the numbers provided. Even the Consul General there providing coming out with the numbers so that someone needs assistance can approach the Consul General.
Right. Thank you, Siddhant, for bringing us all the latest on this story. And since you aptly mentioned that it is a developing story, we will continue to track the latest and bring you the latest on this news story. So far, what has been established that a blast has taken place in this Toronto suburban restaurant and it's an Indian restaurant named Bombay Bhel, where 10 people have been reported to be killed and 15 injured. We will bring you the latest as and when details come out.